Hello YouTubers, Pancake, welcome to another video on Blackpowder. And this video I'm going to look at cavalry. I'm just going to give a quick rundown of how cavalry work in the game. Nothing special, nothing fancy. If anybody wants to see in more detail how they work, then just pick up this cracking book. Right then, in this little scenario we have the 44th East Essex in line, 2 deep line, battalion, and Regiment of Carabiniers, 2 squadrons. Now the distance that these can move in Blackpowder is 18 inch. And just to show you how big that is basically that, and that's just one move. So potentially they can get 3 moves. They can move, what's that, 54 inch? That's pretty far. But for my tables, my 7x5 table, I have them at 12 inch. So the colonel for this squadron, 2 squadrons rather, regiment, has just managed to get 3 moves off and is declared a charge against this British battalion in 2 deep line. Now this battalion has the rule, must form square. Most infantry battalions get it, and I mean unless they're really poor, really crap. What this means is it must attempt to form a square when charged by enemy cavalry. Basically 2d6 are rolled, and if you don't get a double 6, they form an ordered square. If you get a double 6, they form a disordered square. Difference being is the cavalry can't charge home against an ordered square, whereas they can a disordered. So for gaming purposes, let's just say they have formed a perfectly ordered square, because the British are very well trained and drilled and can do it at the drop of a hat. Now, let's just say that these did get their 3 moves of 36 inch. Once they've charged up, because the battalion has formed an ordered square, it has to stop. They have to stop within 3 inch. So basically they have to stop there, which is like that. So basically they've moved 10 inch and had to stop, say, within 3 inch. They've still got 26 inch of movement left, these carabiniers. So they can have a sweep left and use the 26 inch movement up, but they must have room to do so. Obviously they can't clatter into anything else or into a farm building or something. 26 movement there, or they can double back and turn around and come back. If they stay within 12 inch of this battalion has to stay in square, which kind of knackers up this battalion, because instead of shooting with 3 dice when they're in 2 deep line, they shoot with 1 dice per facing and only have a combat dice of hand to hand instead of 6. They have 2 per facing. So it has mucked up this battalion quite a bit. The cavalry are quite like that in this game. They don't really do a lot against infantry, other than really mess your plans up. When you want to move battalions around the board and get them into position, the cavalry can really scupper your plans up and put a spanner in the works, so to speak. Right, cavalry on cavalry. So let's just say, for argument's sake, this battalion was actually cavalry, and they declared a charge against British cavalry. The British cavalry get to choose to counter-charge, and what that means is they measure the distance and they both meet in the middle, and both sides gets the bonuses that you would get for charging. So basically the +1 for charging against each other. If whoever wins this ensuing round of combat, say the French win and the British have retired and have to retreat, they get to make a sweep in advance. So basically they can sweep and move forward, 1 move forward. So these carabiniers have just fought a round of combat against some British dragoons. The British dragoons have retired, fled. Now these get to make a sweep in advance. A cavalry unit can only charge on a sweep in advance once during a turn. In the first turn it gets to make a sweep in advance. It can charge and do so long as it's not shaken. It can charge an enemy unit just as if it were charging in the command part of the turn. It can even charge an enemy unit that has retired from the same engagement. Basically it's saying it's pressing home its attack after the fleeing foes, and it charges back into them. But it can only do this once. Cavalry can only charge on a sweep in advance once during a turn, because basically what it's saying is horses can only take so much kicking up the arse before they're like knackered out. So basically it can only fight 1 more round of combat, if that makes sense. It can make a second sweep in advance, but it can't charge. The horses are just too knackered to build up momentum for another charge. within the Blackpowder book, there's special rules that you can give certain regiments of horses, to give them a bit of spice to the wars of the game and reflect on how they actually were in battle. Like, a lot of the British ones, they get ferocious charge. The unit can re-roll failed hand-to-hand combat attacks in the first round of each and every combat when it counter-charges. Know that this bonus only applies when the unit charges or counter-charges, not when it's being charged, basically. Marauders, like your hussars and stuff like that, they ignore your distance modifiers from your commander. So, whereas you measure from your commander to your unit to see what dice you need to roll to give the order, they negate that. So, if your commander has a strategy rating of 8, it will always be at 8, no matter where he is the marauders are on the battlefield. Yeah, every cavalry, they get plus D3 to your combat result at the end, so they fight around the combat. And if it's like 1 to the British and 1 to the French, these have got plus D3, so you roll the dice, and if you got a 3, you get 3 to the combat, so these would win. So there's all little things like that you can add to the game, to the units and your cavalry and stuff to make it more interesting. Basically, I mean, cavalry just do seem to pit themselves off against other cavalry, but they are handy for putting units into square and knackering them up for doing anything. I've had a couple of times where I've had units go into square from my mate Bob. He's put me on the proper back foot, and it can really scup your plans up, because once the unit's in square, they're easy to shoot at. They can't shoot back at you very well, and cannons, artillery, get bonuses for firing into square. So, I mean, if a cavalry unit comes in, puts them in square, just moves out of the way to keep them in square, and you've got some artillery over here, you just pound away, because this is only firing back with 1 dice, so it's pretty handy. There's a few more other rules than that in there concerning cavalry, but for now, that'll do. Catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Bye!